Hello and welcome back to the SHI Tournament Olympics, Zelda II Randomizer, the semifinal number 2 between Jackamus Wedge and Nearm. I am Angry Larry, joined by Edge. Edge, how are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah, just all right?
Yeah, nothing special today.
Well, they are underway. I'm just going to pause here for a second, sync them up, and there they go. Is your first C2R, or have you done them on Randomania?
I've done one on Randomania. Went all right. It was early Death Mountain required, so that was a fun one to watch. Yeah, I can see that. Or not see it in this case. I feel like I need another image of Nirv's stream, like slightly offset, and then some 3D goggles, and I'll be all set.
Yeah, remember that back in the day? Like, there was this craze at one time. I don't know if you're old enough for it, but you seem to get all my references. The Countess won't get this one. But there was, like, a series of like, shows, and they were, like, linked with 7-Eleven. And you can get 3D glasses at 7-Eleven to watch these, like, crappy movies on, like, it was on, like, Channel 5 in New York, which was Fox. But I don't know if it was a Fox affiliate back then. Do you remember, like, stuff like that?
I don't remember that. I was thinking more in terms of the stereoscopic, like Rad Racer and all that.
Oh yeah, where you hit select and it put it in 3D. But that was basically the same premise. It, like, you know, that's the way the movies looked, and it was always like a bad kung fu movie or like a cheesy, like, thrilling horror movie where, like, you know, hands were coming at you or, you know, something swinging at you. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, so Nearman does have capture problems with his Nintendo. It's been acting up on him lately, but, you know, we do want them to get these races done, so he's going to, I think it has something to do with the pure color green. Every once in a while it comes in and out.
Now, fortunately, there's not much green in the Legend of Zelda game, so Nirm should be alright.
Yeah, it's like green is the least color used, I think. It's fun because the water tile looks like lava. Well, not actually. The water tile looks like water. I think he's got a couple different problems going on because I think last time all the water tiles look like lava. It was great. But we're just making our way through here. A couple caves blocked by boulders. Look like I seen the backside of Parappa Cave. It could have been Fairy Cave though. And Niam's going to come down to this long cave, and it's the front side of Jump Cave. So we don't have any spells, no jump, no fairy. Not going to be able to get through there. And he's going to up A and move on.
So is it common for Zelda 2 players to just kind of scope out the entire map and survey their options before committing to anything?
Well, yeah, because you have the 4 item caves that you have to find. Actually, 5 item caves that you have to find. The grass tile, those are all free items for you available. So you want to get the lay of the land, make sure you spot all the caves, go in all the caves. Because if they're not item caves, then they're going to be pass-through caves or Death Mountain, which in a sense could be a pass-through cave, where Jack is going right now, looking around. And Nirm's there as well. You need to know how to get out of the starting area, because the Western continent where you start is normally divided in half. Not equally in half, but in 2 sections. And there's normally a way to get to a different section, whether it's through a cave or getting the boots as an item and walking across water, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, hey, exactly as you said, Jackamus finds a way out of Death Mountain and onto another section.
Yeah, this is the second Jack race in a row where he's gone through Death Mountain to get to the other side, and he wakes up to a palace here. It's 3 or 6, and we saw 5 on the other side as well. And that's the back end of a cave. It could be Parappa Cave. We'll find out in a second if that was Parappa Cave, because that's where Neem is right now. Yeah, and further answer your question about, you know, getting... And that was Parappa Cave, so you did not need to go through Death Mountain. Parappa Cave takes you there. You also want to find your towns for your spells. And the palaces as well, and the raft tile. So, yeah, everyone's going to take a good hard look at the Western continent, make sure they get to all the corners before they really do anything. So 4, 5, and 3 or 6 is on the west here. And Nirm is back in Death Mountain.
All right, got a town for Jack.
Yeah, this is one of the 2 towns in the Western continent where you grab a free spell here. And see what it is.
Life refill pretty big too, since Jack's on his last life here.
So the shield spell in Shield Town. It's always exciting.
Nice and random, huh?
Nice and random. It's always going to be something that is true to the original. So maybe we got it out of the way here. There's the town in Mito. You need the medicine to get the spell there, or fairy or jump to get downstab. There are boots right on the grass tile.
So Nirm's exploration paying off, and he's going to find the cluster of towns right now as well.
Yeah, that graveyard encounter is kind of... It's not dangerous, it's not bad, but it, like, really looks like you're going to take chip damage through it with the 2 Aikman, the red vampire bats and stuff. I mean, not as much chip damage as that desert encounter that everyone hates. So overall, when you watch a Zelda II Randomizer, what's your favorite part of it?
I think the run through Grand Palace, or Great Palace, or however.
You got Fairy and Saria there, so that's a nice free spell.
It opens up a lot of other options too.
Yeah, you can use Fairy to go through locked doors and palaces, so they can now dive into palaces and not have to really worry about keys, although I did not see how much it cost to cast.
That's true. Might require a couple of magic upgrades to get that.
Fairy is in Mito in Vanilla. The life spell is in Saria. I'm talking to chat, by the way.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, speaking of chat, as we're 8 minutes into this seed, I got the question of the day for you. What are your favorite retail stores that are no longer around? Whether they closed up shop or maybe they moved out of your area. There are the boots for Jack. Well, we discussed this. Edge, any stores that you used to go to as a kid in the mall that maybe are not around anymore?
That's a pretty good question. I mean, funny story, actually. I found, like, 5 years after Circuit City closed, a gift card for them that I had never used. So, wrapped that sucker up and gave that to my brother for his birthday. He was appropriately mad.
I've, from a failed engagement, I have like $100 in linens and things, gift cards. And, yeah, I never even cared to use them. But we got stereo spells here. We're just swapping what the other person got. Fairy is 77 at Magic 2, so we cannot cast that unless we get the 5th magic container. Going through my mall, right? All right, so I would park in the Sears Smith Haven Mall on Long Island. I would park in the Sears parking lot because it had like the side entrance to the mall. And that side entrance led right to Timeout Arcade Amusements. And there was a KB Toys there. There was a B. Dalton Books. I think, no, Spencer's was on the other side. But there was like this big circuit I did, like all the same stores. 500 Point P-Bag and Magic Container Cave. We saw Nearm pick that up earlier. Babbage's was actually in that side of the mall as well. It was like a crazy fun side of the mall. You can spend hours there between KB and Time Out Amusements. There was also this like 5 and Dime store. This it really wasn't a discount store, but it started way back in the day in the 50s or 40s as a 5 and Dime store called McCrory's. And it was just like a cheesy, crappy department store, but it had like it subletted like some booths in it. And one time it was like a baseball card store in there, and another time there was like a rock t-shirt place in there, so it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Arma mentioning Babbage's, that's a good one. Used to have Babbage's that was an electronics boutique, and it changed names 5 million times. It's a GameStop now.
Yeah, we had a, it was a Micro Game? I don't even know what it was called, but then that became EB Games, that became like Babbage's, it became Funkoland, then became GameStop. Like all those, like one store became all those. All right, we got the raft in the trophy location. Both players pick those up.
It's like the lava in the cave is overheating the capture card.
Yeah, it was good for a little while.
Honorable mention should go to all those catalog stores that don't exist anymore.
You know, I brought this topic up with my dad when I was over there for a dinner the other day. I'm like, you know, I forget what brought it up, like what store I was thinking about. Oh, like we were talking about games, and like most of my Nintendo games came from this toy store called Child World. And I don't know how regional that store was, but it was in New York. It was in at least New Jersey. And Child World is now a Bob's Stores, but the place has been remodeled so many times since. But there was also another game store called Play World, or another, like, you know, Toys R Us type store called Play World and stuff like that. And then he's like, what about consumer video? Like, consumer distributor, because that's where we got my Super Nintendo. And then, you know, service merchandise came up and stuff like that. Yeah, those stores, man, those stores were crazy. The little stupid stubby pencils and the damn carbon copy form you had to write numbers in on. It was like an IQ test to get a freaking, like, you know, a Discman.
Oh god, this is terrible for Nearm. You can't see the fireballs going through the sand, so he's getting shot in the legs.
Alright, we got Reflect in New Casino here. I think the lady wanted 7 magic containers, I think I saw. And we don't have the spell, so we can't go there. Back a while ago, there was this commercial for PC Richards & Son, which is another New York area retailer. Here's a P-Bag cave for Jack. It's like an appliance electronics store. You can get your refrigerator there or a TV, you know, hot stereo. And all the commercial did was list and rattle off the names of all the other electronic stores that no longer exist. Like Circuit City, Nobody Beats the Wiz, Newmark and Lewis was another one of them. I think, yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Magic Key is a great find.
Well, if the fairy spell wasn't enough, have infinite keys.
Yeah, I mean, with the Magic Key, especially if he has this and Nearm doesn't get this for a while, this could be huge. Just the ability to get through all those doors without needing to manage your magic or take potential debts to refill your magic or whatnot. And we got another town up here, and this is the town of Darunia. We don't have the kid. So we are not going to get the spell. And a heart container on the desert tile. So what was your first video game system as a child?
So earliest one that I can remember is I think it was my older brother's Atari.
We took about
Played around
800?
with that. Yeah, I think so. But kind of the earliest one that I was actually allowed to mess around with, because my brother, you know, being the older brother, real possessive with his stuff, I was able to use my parents' Apple IIe computer, and so that was fun playing like Carmen Sandiego and all that nonsense on it.
Was Apple IIe the like the monochrome green black terminal monitors, or did it have color?
Oh, yes, so the 2E was the monochrome one, so I think it might have been a 2GS instead. Yeah, that makes sense, because the one we had was color.
Yeah, I remember having those in school, and like my fondest memory of those computers in like elementary school, where like, you know, back in the, here's the other item cave, the other P-bag cave on the arm side. Let me take a look and see what this is first before I continue the story. Gotta get rid of this blue Lizalfos though, and it's the kid in the other. See if you'd be able to pick him up before dying. There it is. All right, so the kid was in the other P-bag cave. We don't know what spell that's going to be yet.
Jeez, kid, help out a little bit. Can't you, like, trip him or something?
Dude, it always seems like the kid is lounging around somewhere around Darunia. But, yeah, so in school, in elementary school, back in the day when I was in elementary school, we'd have, like, one computer room and maybe, like, 4 apples. And that was it. So, like, everyone had to share. We rarely went in there as well. But I remember, the only thing I remember from it is, like, playing Family Feud. And then, like, in junior high, they were, like, IBM PCs. And then all I played on them was Tetris. But imagine that, a computer lab with, like, 4 computers, and that's it.
That's budget computer lab.
Yeah, like nowadays, there's probably at least 4 computers in every classroom. So
that is true, but they're all riddled with spyware.
Yeah, it's all the kids are on that damn Reddit.
Just remember every single computer having Bonzi Buddy when I was in school.
Yeah, we had Tetris, and there's a heart container in the kid location. We're going to look for the other one soon. Both players are on Maze Island. Great Palace is on Maze Island, as you can see on the screen. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, we didn't have many computer programs. You know, we're talking early 90s, late 80s, and what I'm talking about. Like, Tetris was a huge one. I used to, you know, we used to have a technology club. And in the technology club, you went there, you know, you went before school technology club. And, you know, you can build stuff supervised with, you know, power tools and stuff like that, or you can just, you know, use the computer and play freaking Police Quest and Tetris for a half an hour before school started. Magic Container is the other item on Maze Island.
Well, that's a good find. The old lady was asking for 7 of those for the item, so.
Yeah, still need 2 more. I mean, we don't have the glove and we don't have thunder. But we do know where Reflect is. I had an Atari 800 XL computer, and no printer or anything. And there's the spell.
Alright, item chain time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's possible you have to get the trophy out of... You have to get the boots out of the grass tile to get the trophy out of the water tile to get the spell from Rudo to get, you know, maybe the hammer to go get something else. for Thunder. Like it's possible. But yeah, I had an Atari 800 XL, and my neighbor worked for like a defense contractor, and like, you know, I guess between everybody there, like, you know, as soon as I got the damn computer, I had like 12 discs that had about like 16 games per disc, like 5 1/4 floppy disk, 2-sided. It was like all you ever needed. I don't even think we bought a game for that. We just used those games for like the duration of it, of the computer. But we also had a ColecoVision, and then we finally got the Nintendo and everything thereafter. But I remember getting all the new games for Nintendo from Child World. You know, just like Toys R Us, it actually had like a section in Child World that was dedicated to Nintendo. It was like World of Nintendo. I have a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, like, you know, trash, you know, metal trash bin we got from there. But like the day the games came out, and I forget how we knew the games came out. I think you had to call the store to find out when games came out back then. Like they would have the tickets for the games like right at the register. So we never had a problem getting any of the newer games. We just went there the first thing and, you know, went right to the register. Games don't really sell out on release anymore, do they?
I think it might depend on the game. Probably some of the more super popular ones, like Pokemon or whatever, might sell out.
Yeah, well, I'm not really talking about Nintendo that short orders everything just to create fake demand. I'm talking about, like, you know, your PS4, Xbox One games.
Yeah, I've never had a problem getting a game for any other system, and then PC, you don't have to worry about it anymore with all the digital distribution.
Well, there's Thunder in what looks like Nubaru, and I believe it is Nubaru, even though it looks like Darunia. Wow, what is this? I don't even know where it is. It's the black hole. And Jack is in refilling his magic to get the down stabs. I think Nearm was trying to fix his stream there. I don't think it looks like this when he plays. I think it's just a capture from what he tells me. So there's down stab for Jack. Did your first computer, did it come pre-packaged with a few games or trial games?
It didn't come pre-packaged with anything. It was, I don't know if my brother knew them or they were friends of the family, but very, very adept software pirates. So I had all kinds of unlabeled discs with, I don't know, games and like word processors and nonsense.
Yeah, and Card Encyclopedia has been mentioned in chat. I had this game called Descent, which was like a 3D like space fighter, I guess. And I think I had like the first 2 levels of Wolfenstein 3D was included on my computer. So they came from a store that also fits the bill of the topic of the day, like your favorite retail stores that are no longer around. CompUSA is where I got my computer from.
Oh yeah, I remember picking up a compact PC from CompUSA with the Dennis Miller introductory video.
Dennis Miller, did it make jokes that went way over your head with the Monday Night Football theme playing in the background?
No, he was definitely tighter scripted for that, but like, it's such a weird choice for introducing someone to a new PC. Oh, Jack's glove blocked.
Yeah, we are glove blocked in what I believe is 3. Police Quest was one of those games that just infuriated me because I would crash the car every single time. And it didn't matter what it didn't matter what I did. Like, you know, okay, you want to go out and do something? Okay, fine. Like, you know, drive the car, boom, crash, done, game over. What? It's like the hardest game ever. King's Quest V on 15 3.5 floppy disks. I think Windows 95 was like 12.
Yeah, I've got a stack of floppy disks somewhere of just old games and old software that I just can't bear to get rid of, just for nostalgia purposes.
I acquired somewhere along the line, probably worked at, I worked at a local office supply place that, you know, catered to offices and stuff before they were bought over by big conglomerates in the area. And I have, like, all this stuff from when we had to do returns and they wouldn't take the returns back. The owner of the place was the guy I used to bowl with, so he was just like, just take it. And, like, I have all these damn boxes, like, sealed of blank 3.5 floppy disks. And, like, every time it comes time to clean up, you know, throw things out or whatever, it's like, you know, I could just probably toss it, but maybe one day I'll need it. So there's Reflect for Neum now.
Sorry, you can put them next to the zip disks.
Dude, I was just about to say, I have zip disks as well. I have the USB zip disk reader and like a couple 3-packs of zip disks, and those things went for like, you know, $70 or something like that.
Now, does that reader have the click of death or no?
Oh, yeah, those things were loud, right?
Yeah, but it was just one of those things where there's a certain click pattern that you could recognize that if your zip drive had it, it was dead. But what's funny was you could put a disk in it, and it would, for whatever reason, you would like infect whatever drive you had with the same failure if you just moved the disk from one to the other.
Oh, god damn. It's like a hardware virus. We saw Neum go into the spell tower. We'll won't ignore the game 100% of the time. He got his 6th magic container, so he's one away from the front lady item, but still needs one there. So Spell got him the magic container.
The zip disks were what, like 100 megs? That was considered the big thing? 100,
and then like they had like a Zip XL, which was like 250 maybe meg. Because the floppy disk was what, 1.44 meg?
Yeah.
I have to double check that. Somebody's going to probably Google that beforehand.
All right, Neum with the Santa Claus strats going down the chimney.
Yeah, he's going to grab Upstab. He has the Kid, but he also has Thunder and Reflect. So I'd be curious if he's going to go look what the item is. I believe we saw that Shield was fire. So somebody cast Shield before, and Stab and Fireballs were letting loose. So Fire as Thunder is not in play, and Neum is not going to go cash in the Kid. He's content on all the spells he has. But we don't have a single gem placed yet.
Yeah, it looks like the glove is the big bottleneck.
Yeah, I mean, Jack has the magic key, and he's not dipping palaces, but yet in his race against Enchantress Numbers, he dove a palace in minute number 2 without a key, or a magic key, or fairy. So it's interesting here. Who's winning? The Bears are winning. It's pretty much too close to call. Some people have items that the other people don't have. Neum has Thunder, though, and Reflect. Jack just has Reflect. And a Stab Wound right in his chest. Neum picks up the key now, though, so advantage is over.
Big old heart container. Worst prize.
So if you're just joining us, the question, the topic of the day, topic of the race is, what is your favorite retail store that has long since went bye-bye? Nobody beats the Wiz, man. That was a bad one. I don't know if you had that in your area, but that was a big electronics store here. Huge CD selection, games. You know, your basic Best Buy before there was Best Buy, but like it was just amazing. You walked in there and it's just, you know, just go everywhere.
Yeah, we didn't have Nobody Beats the Wiz. We had a place that was similar called Media Play. I don't know if it ever made it out that far.
No, it did not. I ignored all your answers because they all included the word Z in them. No, I mean, the answer doesn't have to be a U.S. retail store, but nobody's going to probably have the same, you know, feels when you mention that name. Remember Woolworths? It was another five and dime, long-time five and dime store. All these stores were like, you know, Target, you know, before Kmart was around, stuff like that. You know, it just seems like every time like another one of those stores popped along, like Kmart or Walmart or Target, like the next version of it just did it better. Like the store was cleaner because it was newer, and you know the line of product was better, a better generation because everything was budget. But like then budget products get better as they go along, stuff like that. Has anything come out to trump Target yet?
As far as I know, that's about as... Can't think of anything.
Brian Adams is in chat right now. Everyone say hi to Brian Adams. All right, Nirm is now in Kasuto, and I looked at my handy chart here and see nobody has anything there yet, and it is Jump.
Yeah, we had a bunch of those department stores go out of business in my area. Had a Gold Circle that died and was replaced by a Hills, and then an Ames, and then AM&A's.
Yeah, Ames is something I'm familiar with. They had those in Pennsylvania. That was like a Kmart, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think I bought a box of football cards there one time, like a 1992 Pro Set football. We had a Caldor, and Caldor was where I used to get my LJN wrestling figures from. Caldor was like a, you know, another one of those type of stores. They went out of business. They were in the New York area, and most of them got replaced by Kohl's. But yeah, Buzz brings up Sam Goody, back to the mall, like Sam Goody, Record Town, Tape World. Like there were so many. FYE. Is FYE still around? One of them's still around.
That one went out of business as well. I was just going to ask Arma mentioning Future Shop. I didn't know if they still existed or not.
I was just saying Walmart. The Wall is another one of those stores. Like that's the same like chain of stores, like, you know, Funkoland to you know, GameStop. It's like Squared Circle became Record World, which became The Wall, which became FYE. You know, it's like in that same chain. Yeah, Tower Records. I believe like that was one of the things where supermarkets are known for this. Depending on, they have the same owner, but depending on the area and like the demographic of the area, they'll change the name of the store. Like in New York, there was like, you know, Wallbaum's was in the better areas. Pathmark was in like the secondary markets, and they named their stores A&P in the bad area. Like, you know, they had all those names for the stores, but like Food Emporium was like the company that owned them all, and there was actually Food Emporiums as well. That was like the same thing with Squared Circle, Record Town, and Tower Records. They were all the same store. It's just they were named differently depending on where they were.
Yeah, now that you mention it, still the same grocery stores in the area where I grew up. It's either Wegmans or Tops.
Where we're down to like 3 grocery stores, and then like these other stores that pretend they're grocery stores, you know, like, because I ignore the Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods because those aren't real stores. But we, you know, all the Pathmarks and the Wallbaums, and they're all we have Stop and Shop, and we have like, I don't even know what the other ShopRite, and that's it. Everything else is just a dying food chain, supermarket chain that may have like 2 locations within the 50-mile radius still. Yeah, HMV is another one as well. We still have our Sears, we still have our Macy's. We don't have the Stearns, and we don't have the A&S. Yeah, someone mentioned before about Target's closing down. I didn't see that. I knew Sears has been in trouble for a long time. Department stores are in trouble altogether. It's like, you know, how long they want to last for. Because, you know, I guess aside from Christmas, does anybody ever walk into a damn store anymore to buy something? When's the last time you were in a store, Edge, for like, you know, just... I wouldn't say for no reason, but when's the last time you were sitting down and be like, oh, I need one of these, and instead of going online buying one, you went to the store?
I have to think that one over. Probably, yeah, I think I last went to Target a couple weeks ago for a can of liquid plumber. That was about it.
Yeah, I guess there's like household goods, and but there are like certain stores where I think like online won't put them out of business, because if people need something from those stores, they're gonna go to the store and get it. Like Home Depot or Lowe's, for example. There's the kid pickup for Jack. You know, if you need something at Home Depot, it's probably something to fix something or to do something for a project, and you probably want it like ASAP. So you'll probably go there no matter what. But if it's like, you know, a board game, let's say, you know, you're really going to drive to Target now to buy a board game. You know, maybe if you have friends coming over that evening and, like, you know, you're ill-prepared to, like, entertain them, be like, oh, let me go to Target, pick up some snacks and grab a board game. But then you're there for the snacks as well. Look at Nearham's in the Dark Palace.
Uh-oh.
Thought we started with the candle.
No wonder this is so intimidating for new players.
Yeah, Brian, board games are really still a thing. I know people with huge board game collections, and I recognize none of them. Like, you know, they've expanded so far, and they're mostly, like, role-playing board games now. But, yeah, I just,
Yeah, I do play a lot of board games, but most of the shops that I used to go to in person are all out of business now. Like Amazon really killed that industry. Unless you're going to a shop that sells Magic cards and runs tournaments and stuff too. That's really the only way you're going to stay in business.
Yeah, you got Walmart offering free 2-day shipping now as well to compete with Amazon Prime. There's Jack grabbing that magic container. It's going to give him 7, so he's actually going to be able to walk out of here with the other item as well. Still no glove. I still don't know what's in the dripper. I think I saw a Stalfos, but I don't know if that came from a dripper or not. But Dark Palace, too, here for Nearham. He's going to keep going. He's going to up A and go a different way. Let's see what this item is here for Jack. Tao, have you ever played Dose? The world's second greatest, best card game as from the makers of Uno, as it says on the box. That's a hammer. That's a good item to have.
Alright, that's probably going to lead to a lot of stuff. Those boulder caves were all over the place in the early area.
Yeah, so boulders can only block caves that have items in them. We saw 2 early on. Jack is going to go to the one in the south, and then we still have Spectacle Rock in Death Mountain, but we didn't see what was, we didn't see where that was yet.
Phase 10 is good, but it's no Skip-Bo.
Yo, Skip-Bo is pretty legit. You ever play the game? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a French game. It means like 100 miles. It's like Melee Born or something like that.
No, I never played that one.
It's like a P-bag here for Jack in the first of the 2 overworld caves blocked by boulder. It's like a screw your neighbor type of game. Your whole goal is to drive your car 1,000 miles, right? So you get all these like, you know, cards that tell you how many miles you drive. Like 100, 25, 50, 75, stuff like that. But then you also have hazard cards that you play on your opponent. So I can give you a flat tire. And then you have to draw a card that fixes a flat. And then play that before you can resume your journey. So there's like green lights, red lights, and it's just a whole like screw your neighbor game. And if it's the first one to get to 1,000 miles, it's a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of Raz, though, when it comes to card games, because no one knows how to play that, and I used to clean up online.
Oh, Raz is pretty great.
Look at that.
There's the glove.
Yeah.
Seven Wonders is a great game.
So what did this chain of command get us? You had to get 7 magic containers to get the hammer, to get the glove. Where were the magic containers? I did not mark them down, unfortunately.
There was one in Maze Island and one blocked by the spell.
Yeah, one blocked by the spell, which you had to get in Rudo, and you had to get the trophy in the water tile, and then you had to get the boots in the grass tile. And both players have 7 magic containers. They probably all got the same 7 magic containers.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if that one in Rudo wasn't required, or the item chain that led to it.
Were you a PokerStars or full tilt guy back in the day?
I had accounts on both. I played mostly on Poker Room, but never really sank too much money into it because this is something that was clearly illegal, yet it was a service that was happening, so never gambled with any money that I really wasn't going to ever see again.
So I got a check one time for $500 from Full Tilt. I don't know how much I lost, so I can't say that I made $500. I think I was ahead, because I really wouldn't put much more than like $50 into account at any time. But over time, maybe I lost more than $500 over the several years. But I actually got a check one time for $500 from Full Tilt. I was playing in an $11 bounty, where you knock somebody out, you get a prize, and then you get a prize at the end. And I was just flopping monsters. I was just a friggin', you know, what the hell was the term for it? I don't know what the term for it was. But there was nothing I could do wrong. Even when I played the hand wrong, I got benefited from it. So all of a sudden there's like, but I was on the bubble for a while, like, you know, 40th person, 39th person, 38th person. All of a sudden I went on this run where I went from wherever the cut was to like top 5 and like to chip leader as well. And I remember just like getting to the final table and I'm freaking shaking because it was an $11 entry. But first place was like, $1,000. Second place was $600, something like that. And like finally, like I'm pushing, like I'm being a bully, and it's working. Then finally, I'm like, whoa, I gotta back down. Like I'm shaking, like I'm sweating. There's our first gem of the game right there, our second gem because Neum did Palace 1, so we're tied at 1 gem apiece. And I get, like, I have like King Queen or whatever, and I'm heads up now. And the guy, like, he bets, and so I overbet. And he pushes, so I call. He had a pair of kings. I was so pissed. Like, after all that, like, there was a king on the board, I should say. I flopped a pair of kings, and I had king queen. He had a pair of kings in the hole. I was pissed. But, yeah, I won like $600 and something, so I immediately went to cash out for $500. I'm like, I'm keeping that, and I'll play with the rest. So it was pretty cool.
Well, it's a good thing you cashed out. There's a lot of people who played on Full Tilt that didn't get any of that money back.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it was anywhere near close to that Black Friday or Black Monday, whatever date that was. I think it was a long ways from that still. I actually had a there was an online betting site I used for like football as well, and basketball, baseball, whatever feeded my addiction for a while. And I say addiction, but I'm like pushing around $10 a night, so I didn't really. I had a problem, but I didn't have it in the denomination field, that's for sure. But there was one time I was losing money on football, and then I said, screw it. Like, I bet $500. What I bet? It wasn't I won $500. So I bet like $200, $250 on the Eagles. Like, because I was so pissed. I was losing like $25, $50 here and there. I could do nothing right. So I'm like, screw it. One big bet. If I win, I get everything back. If not, you rip computer desk. And I pushed it, and like the Eagles barely covered on like the last second. And immediately I just, emptied the account. I'm like, I'm done. Just no more. I can't take that. I'll keep my gambling in, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna gamble on sports, fantasy sports is the way to go.
Yeah, it's more fun, but there's no. Yeah, I know. Like, there's people who get like the adrenaline rush and the high of winning, a bet for a decent amount of money. Like, fantasy sports is over so much time, and you're not even winning like a lot compared to your entry, depending on the league. And I never bought into the FanDuel, DraftKings stuff.
Oh god, that stuff, it's the same thing over again. Let's take, the good thing about fantasy sports, which is a lot of action over a lot of time, and now you gotta pay in, like, every game.
Yeah, there was a while I was doing it for basketball, so we have it here. Medicine in 3. So, Jack doesn't have thunder. And this might be like one of those red herring, white whales, whatever you want to call it, for Jack. He might go and trade this in right after Palace 3. Try to get thunder.
Well, he's got everything else except the cross, so he can clear palaces pretty quickly now.
Yeah, the cross was in 1. We saw Nirm get that earlier.
And who knows, if medicine leads to life spell, it might be worth it.
What was your favorite poker show back in the heyday of the poker craze?
I used to watch World Series of Poker events on ESPN.
Can we get some Norman Chad heads in chat, please, for that answer? All right, Jack's placing his second gem now. 3 and 4 down. Nirm only has Palace 1 down. Let's see if we can get Dripper action here. Dripper must not be good because Nirm hasn't stood in front of one. Poker After Dark is the correct answer, Brian. That is my favorite poker show of all time. If you don't know about it, it was like basically a sit and go, a 6 to 5 person sit and go. But it lasted, it was like 5 1-hour episodes daily. Every night, or depending on when it was on, because it was probably NBC syndication, and it was just a continuation of the tournament. So all 5 days, it would start with Monday would have all 6 players, and then Friday would be the end of the tournament, and they would banter back and forth, and then there would be a Saturday episode as well that recapped the whole week, but like with the insight of the players and stuff. So it was pretty cool, and I used to love it when Phil Locke and Antonio Esfandari were there with Mike Matisow and Phil Hellmuth, and all they would do is just needle them to death and just make them go on tilt and just poke fun at them the whole week. It was great. Well, there's what Jack did not want to see. Medicine led to fire, and fire is the shield spell.
Ugh.
The worst poker show was High Stakes Poker on the Game Show Network, or GSN. Like, I just found that extremely dry and boring.
As far as poker show I like the least, there was like some national heads up championship, and just when poker gets to heads up, I don't know, not a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of playing heads up either. It just seems like anything I do is always the wrong thing. Somebody's always going to outbet me or whatever. Nirm here is in Palace 4 now. He's at Palace 5, boss, Guma. He was in there for a while, and here's Jack going into there now. He was searching high and low to try to find where Guma was. Finally found him. And it looked like he was just kind of 2 floors down from the start, and that's one of the things I worry about a lot. Is all of the palace being on the first right you take, and then the boss or the item you need is just like another floor down to the right. So you never go there until you exhaust all other options. And here we have that scenario, and Jack's going to be lost for a little while, and probably do the same thing Nirm did to beat this palace.
That's something you always run into with every randomizer, though. It's like Dragon Warrior. You go right instead of left, and you miss early Erdrick's armor.
Yeah, the right or left thing in randomizers, it's crazy. I did a race before. Well, not like I did the race before. I was in a race before at one time before I quit, because just every decision was the wrong one. Low health. I hate low health. But yeah, you go left and you start questioning a little while. Be like, what if I just went right? And you go right and there's like one cave there, and the cave is, you know, whatever you need or whatever is going to make everything easy for you. So, but then, you know, that's randomizer, and that goes back to your initial question of, you know, do players explore all options first before they do things? Well, yeah, sometimes you have to. You don't want to miss something and then, you know, make the journey slower. There's Palace 5 down for Nirm, so 2 gems apiece. National Heads Up Poker Championship was like this NBC joint. And anytime NBC gets their hands on something, like American Gladiators or Ninja Warrior or whatever, it's like they just make it, they hump the human interest story. So it becomes like 35% whatever you want to watch it for, and 65% human interest story. And they do that with everything they touch.
Good old Sunday Night Football with all the sideline reporting.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, nothing, you know, Ninja Warrior, right? So it's a Japanese, you know, Japanese show that they brought over to America, and G4 had it on, and it was just a highlighted, condensed version of whatever the Japanese show was, right? And it was just, you know, competitor after competitor after competitor. Like, once in a while, they would sneak in, like, hey, this guy's blind and he works at a gas station. And they call him the Crab Man. I think that's 3 different people. I just mixed them all into one. It was great. The greatest hybrid Japanese guy ever was just those 3 guys mixed into one. It's awesome. But yeah, no, they have, like, they'd have those things, but like the segment would last like 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden, like, Captain Tennille would be like, get it on, and, you know, the guy would run and do his thing. But like, they showed so many people trying to combat the course, and then like NBC gets Ninja Warrior, and there's American Ninja Warrior, and it's like, you know, you get like 2 people per commercial. There's Nirm with downstab. You get like 2 people per commercial, and like the run lasts like 30 seconds, but the human interest story before it was like, you know, 5 minutes. I actually at one time wanted to find local like Ninja Warrior competitions, but yeah, when I was really working out and I had a personal trainer and everything, I'm like, this is what I want to do. And he's like, no, yeah, you can't do that, dude. He's like, you can barely tie your shoelace, and that's why you're here, and you wanted to start like jumping off of platforms, and, you know, try doing a pull-up first. I'm like, maybe I can't do a pull-up, but I can definitely do whatever they're doing. So I got kiboshed. I got shamed by my own personal trainer. It was great. BattleBots is a good show, Arma. Remember that guy? Bill Dwyer, I think, was the guy who did the commentary for that. He did a game show called the Ultimate Fan League. Ultimate Fan League? No, he did another game show. I forget what it was called. It was a sports game show. It was really good. All right, are we back in 3 here on Nearm's side, or is this 6? Let's see. I think this is 6. You can tell if there's a key up there. There's a key for Jack, but he doesn't want it in the dead end. So again, Jack's going to be running around these dead ends for a while. There's a key up there, so this is 6, I believe, for Nearm.
Yeah, all of this is time for Nearm to catch up.
Yeah, not even catch up. I mean, he has the glove and he has two gems as well. So like they're pretty spot on even.
Yeah, that's true. Jack still needs to pick up Thunder, so.
I saw that drone racing on ESPN at one time as well, and then like I harken back to the days of ESPN where you turn it on and you don't even know what's happening. Like, you know, you wake up and it's Body by Jake and like, you know, Denise Austin and Katana like workout videos, and then you'd have like these just weird sports things going on. Like, I want those days back.
Oh, Stump the Schwab was a good show. There was some legitimately hard questions in that show.
2-Minute Drill as well with Dan Patrick. Every sports show, trivia show, Boardwalk and Baseball was another one. There was one hosted by Matt Vasgersian, and I think that might have been Ultimate Fan League. But then there was one hosted by Bill Dwyer as well. Both of them were on Fox Sports Syndicated. Sports Jeopardy was also another good one. But they never last, the sports TV shows. The sports game shows. Well, Jack finally up A'd and went down to 2nd level and found out how easy it was to get the Guma. Nearm's going ham on that red iron knuckle.
A nice move by Jack to jump over Guma's head repeatedly. Well, he doesn't have to wait for him to come back on screen. Doesn't even care about the experience.
No, he doesn't. It's one of the funnier things to watch when Jack plays. One of the things that can irate somebody the most is when, you know, you see them eating the gem. And it's like, what are you doing? Just take the magic level, whatever. But, you know, Jack wants to save that how many ever seconds it's going to take to count up in the fanfare and selecting it through the menu. You know, he just needs a certain level of attack and, you know, he's good. It backfires sometimes, sure, but other times it, you know, gets him tremendous times.
Oh, quality river devil there.
Yeah, and that bridge that Jack just stepped around is not even an encounter bridge. Nearm jumped into it before. And now Nearm is done with Palace 3, so we're back up to 3 gems apiece here. Fox Sports 2 in my area is not even HD. And that's like the worst thing ever. Because like they won't throw anything, like every once in a while they'll throw USA Soccer, National Soccer, men or women on there. And like it's not even HD, the channel. Like, how do you have a channel not HD anymore? And I know Fox Sports probably broadcasts it in HD, but my carrier doesn't show it in HD. Like, I don't understand how that works. And what's, you know, worse off is you can't even, like, they stretch the picture to 16:9. So then you got to do some stupid thing with the damn remote to get it to look normal. Alright, so Jackson 6. Oh, he's riding those Moas. Almost gets the magic carpet right over. Where's Nirm here? Is this 4? I think it's 4. So we saw on Jack's screen that Nirm's going to hit a couple dead ends first before he gets to the boss. And just to remind everybody, this is the SHI Tournament Olympics. And it's a semifinal match number 2 between Jackamus Wedge of Special K. I'll tell you what that means in a moment. And Nirm of Anchors of Fire. The winner is going to play Buzz Thunder in the gold medal match. The loser is going to go on to play Rose City Saint in the bronze medal match. The SHI Tournament Olympics is made up of 8 teams of 3. We split the normal SHI Tournament idiots up into 2 groups. We call them the upper deckers. Those are the better players. And the cesspool. Those are the worst players. The bad players. And everybody was... every teams were made up of 1 in each division. And then they were able to grab somebody from the outside the tournament and make up a 3-person tournament. So Jack is the outsider on Special K. Special K also has Coach Crab and Random Effect, and each of them play 2 games of the 6 that the Olympics have. Jack is playing Super Mario Bros. 2 and Zelda II Randomizer. Nirm is Anchors of Fire. Puke 7 and Sleepy Mario are his teammates. And Nirm is playing Super Mario Kart and Zelda II Randomizer. So each game is a single elimination 8-person tournament with a 3rd place bronze medal match as well. Jackamus Wedge beat Enchantress of Numbers in the first round, and Nirm beat Angry Larry in the first round because he cheated. Because fire was thunder and he found it. And he did a lot of other stuff better than me.
That sounds like cheating to me.
It really does. I mean, especially when 2 people in his chat said GL, which means like glove in level 2. And then the other person did like a hand emoji and then like a Garfield emoji, which definitely means like glove in vanilla location. So...
yeah, you knew the glove was in the lasagna. It's a clear tip-off.
And like another name for lasagna is Palace 2. And yeah, I protested, but Commissioner Unos turned me down. How many times was Fire Thunder? Fire was Thunder last night, and Fire was Thunder in my match. So that was at least 2 of them so far.
Never made it past the Commissioner's desk, which he made.
Yeah, which he made, yeah. He probably tried to return it to himself, too. So moving along here, so Jack found the Reboneck pass-through, and one of the more interesting things in those days about that room that I was woke about when I was talking to Eunice last night. You can't find that room going right to left because of the mechanics of the game, the mechanics of spawning Reboneck or whatever. So you're only going to find it going left to right. So when you pass through it, later on in the palace, there's a good chance it leads somewhere. And that somewhere being the boss or the item room, and we find it leads to Barba, because you can't loop through the palace and enter it from the other direction. So it's got to go somewhere, and there's no right-hand dead-end rooms in 6. Well, Nirm has an RB modded Ness if you... he might be giving that up to you if you help clear his name. So this is the 4th gem for Nirm right there. Jack's going to be getting his in second. A couple more hits on Barba, and there it is. A little down stab right on the beak. Right on the schnoz.
All right, that big 150-point gem there.
Let's see what he does with it. Oh, he's going to keep it. Oh, he's going to cancel out. And he's going to walk to Palace 2? No, he's going to go to Kasuto. He still does not have Thunder. So he's going to check Kasuto and see if Thunder's there. And we know it's not going to be Thunder. We know it's going to be Jump. So it's interesting. Nirm doesn't know, like, the top row of the continent where North Palace is, where you start, is actually a river that you can walk on. So Jack's been walking up there to avoid encounters to go back to the raft tile. But Jack has also been using Death Mountain to go back to the other side of the Western continent, where Nirm has been using Parappa Cave. So both players doing things a little bit the long way and then a little bit the easier way. And for those joining late, in the hour and 5-minute recap, we are talking about your favorite retail stores that have closed down. So if you have any favorite retail stores, memories of the mall, and stores that are not there anymore, please feel free to post them in chat.
So do you have any good arcades at the mall?
Yeah, we had we had Time Out Amusements, and that was right by that entrance to the mall that I wanted to go to with KB and B. Dalton. Yeah, that was where I saw that 3D game, Time Warrior, Time Bandit, for the first time. Like, you know, it was like the first time I saw a 75-cent game that you had to play. It had Space Ace, it had Dragon's Lair, the cartoon one where you just had to move the joystick and hit a button to go to, like, the, whatever, like the guessing game of, like, go left or right. Yeah, it was crazy. It had 2 different locations. One location was right next to KB, and it was kind of like dark and dreary, right around the time where, like, the arcade boom was still in effect. So, like, your local toughs would be hanging out there, so it wouldn't be a place where my parents would let me, give me a couple bucks and let me go in there and play the games. They would have to come in with me. And, then it moved to another side, like, same area of the mall, but more towards, like, the mall got redone and became, like, a big open atrium, so lots of sunlight or whatever, so it went over to another place. But we had plenty of stores that had multiple arcade machines, like Modell's Sporting Goods. Before it was Modell's Sporting Goods, it was Modell's department store. And they had, like, 8 games right in the front section, and then they had, like, 12 games in the back of the damn place. And, like, Paperboy was there, Donkey Kong, Punch-Out. I mean, you're old enough to remember arcades, right?
Yeah, that's why I asked. Those are, good stores in the mall that don't really exist anymore.
Yeah, that was the best part of malls. I mean, honestly, like, trying to find where Orange Julius was and then realizing you never liked Orange Julius to begin with, but for some reason you keep trying it. And then, like, Baskin Robbins maybe, and, where's the arcade? And then, of course, you go into your bookstores and you check all the magazines and calendars if it was the season.
Yeah, that's true. We're all sad about Walden Books and B. Dalton going out of business. Then we just read everything in there and didn't pay for any of it.
Yeah, Borders is one of those stores we have not mentioned yet about ones that closed down. In fact, there's the 5th gem there for Jack. He'll be taking the walk. The Palace 2 is not far away. There's a whole section of by the mall here that had stores that closed down. It was like it's like an Office Depot, Sports Authority, Kmart in the big shopping center, and Borders. And all those stores closed. Like, Office Depot became Office Max. Sports Authority, I don't know even when it went into sports. They might have turned it into a Dick's Sporting Goods. Or no, they couldn't have, because it was another one on the other side of the highway. But, like, Michael's Arts and Crafts became Borders. Like, it was just weird. It's just, all these stores that were there. And I think Kmart became Lowe's. So there was, like, a huge, huge shopping center. Like, then all the stores are just gone. Oh, Borders was mentioned. I'm sorry. Missed that.
Since Sports Authority, another one of those stores that got ruined by those private capital hedge funds or whatever?
They might have. I mean, they might have just, Sports Authority was always garbage, and then there were dicks, and like I said, my supermarket theory before, and department store theory before, like everyone stopped going to Kmart and went to Walmart because Kmart was dirtier. The Walmart was newer, the floors were cleaner, the inventory was fresher. Then they stopped going to Walmart to favor Target, and prior to they would bail on like Caldor to go to Kmart when it came in the area. Supermarkets, the same thing. You stopped going to King Cullen because Stop and Shop opened up, new building, it just looked cleaner. I think like people just started preferring Dick's over Sports Authority because it was newer, cleaner, looked better inside. Borders was a good go-to. They had import CDs. Like I bought quite a few Veruca Salt imports, singles, and like CD5s, maxi CDs, whatever they're called. They had some good selection before the era of downsizing everything. They had a huge music selection. It was tremendous.
Nirm's setting up his experience for Attack 8 nicely.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to take Attack 8 because he is Magic 3, Life 4. And like this used to be the old strat. Keep Magic and Life levels lower to favor attack levels, and then you just, take Attack 8 and then spend your last gem on whatever, like, the Attack 9 cost was. But sometimes you don't get to that last gem at the max value. So what Nir might do here is he might take the max, whatever Attack 8 costs, and distribute it in Magic and Life now, and then just get what he gets on the 6th gem to add on top of that. This way he doesn't have to worry about farming or, going back, because he already went back once before for a little bit of XP before he placed the gem. And, he knows Jack eats the gem, because he was on commentary with me with Jack versus Eon, and I think Jack ate 4 gems that race with no XP. So we'll see. He's only a couple of rooms away. Yeah, Jack is a connoisseur of gems. And there's Barba. And we have simultaneous boss fights. Nirm just jumps right into the lava. That had to be intentional for Magic. Nirm does the BGT jackhammer. Does it a little bit better that time. And there's a gem being eaten. And Jack is just going to circle the palace. Make sure he steps on all those grave tiles just in case one of them is a secret area.
Is it possible to soft lock on this boss?
Yes, actually. I've seen people do it. If you, There was a scenario, I don't know if it got fixed or not, but killing him somehow at a certain time and dying could lead you right back into the room with the boss not being there and the key not dropping. But then I think if you up A and make your way back to the boss room, the key drops. Something like that. You can't soft lock when you can soft lock in the vanilla game if you exit a room or exit an overworld screen as you're getting your level. People have done that in tournament races and on PB attempts and stuff like that. That's not something you can do in the randomizer, but you can soft lock that way, yeah. Another way you can, quote-unquote soft lock is if you take a drop in Palace 4 and you're sandwiched between, like, 2 key rooms and there's nowhere to go. So that's a possibility as well. That's not really more of a soft lock than just, being trapped.
Can we put in a request for a feature that if you put BGT in as your name, that it just locks the game up?
There was a request at one time that if you put Dig Shake in as your name, you get the Turd Tunic. So there's Jack finally getting the Thunder Spell. And I think we actually convinced somebody, if it was Buzz Thunder or Unos one time, that You know, if you entered your name as Dig Shake, you would get that color tunic. Yeah. Or Buzz thought that he did it, like he found an Easter egg. I forget, something happened to do that. But you can make any request you want because, you know, randomizer doesn't get updated, so.
I guess that's fair.
What did they do? Like, did Introper, did he like screw with the HUD? Is that what I was seeing before? I thought you were playing Final Fantasy 1 for PSP for a while. Then I'm like, wait a second, these sprites aren't updated, but the HUD is definitely different.
Yeah, there's it wasn't Introper, but one of the other developers made a they call it the Modern Battlefield HUD, which is just stealing from FF3.
All right, so Jack is in Great Palace. You go down 2 rooms, and you arrive at an elevator room. There's left there. We're in the fairy room, so right away we're going to have 2 different directions to go in that are going to be left unexplored. So he's going to go down. He's going to get into this theater-looking room with the curtain on top. And in Swiss Flags, it is a shortened Great Palace. So we're going to go right into another elevator room here. This could actually be a loop right back from the first elevator room. And he might have to go up in fairy room. We'll see here in a second. If this is the fairy room, then he definitely did loop. No, actually can't be a loop because there's an enemy right there. All right, we hit a dead end. So he's going to go up this elevator. And it's the hook room. So the hook room is going to force him to go right. So near him, up A is in 2. He's going to go a different direction to the 3rd elevator room. Which could be the first elevator room. We'll see here in a second. No, it's not. So there were 3 different directions, in the 4th direction being introduced by the Jackamus room. Oh, no. How does that happen? Dying in the room named after you when it was named after you for not dying in it the first time. From a King Bot of all places. So there were 4 different directions you can take here. And he goes right and he finds Thunderbird. So, you know, all those directions are for not. Because Dark Link has to be beyond Thunderbird. And since there's 4 openings, Dark Link may be in the next room. So working that pendulum, getting a couple stabs, 3 stabs in at a time when you can. Gets hit. When you get hit and knocked back, it mixes up the pendulum a little bit. You're also prone to be getting hit even more because you're in the path of the fireballs. See if he rights the ship here, kind of.
So when you mess the pendulum up, what's the best way to get that back on track?
Best way to do it is just walk to the right of the screen and just hang out on the right side and try to dodge that lone fireball that seems to maybe want to hit you every once in a while. And then get him swinging off the screen where the fireballs are not touching you and back up to the top. And then you can walk back up to the platform. And look at that. Dark Link is in the next room. We saw 10 rooms in Great Palace. And there's 4 branches left unexplored. Dark Link fight for Jack while Nirm is going to place his last gem. And there it is. Jack is your winner.
GG Jack.
See if he wants to jump in here, and he's already here. Hello, champ. Maybe he's taking a little talk. We'll try again. Hello, Jack. This is Daryl Waltrip in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Loud and clear, don't you, dope?
All right. Well, what are you thinking about the track today under this caution here? You know, things are looking pretty good for you. Look like you were a little loose there in the first quarter of the race, but when the competition caution happened, would they work on your car?
Well, you know, just changed a couple axles there. Got everything in working order. That's all she wrote. Oh yeah, I'd like to thank the makers of Soup on a Stick for giving us some glorious advertising revenue and stuff. Well, it was pretty tough. I mean, Nearm's definitely a good opponent. I was pretty worried for the longest time there because I couldn't find the one thing until pretty late. But you know, what can I say? I just you know, stuck to my guns, played the game the right way, maybe overcame a little adversity on the way, and you know, won this one. And we're gonna have to buckle down and try a little harder if we're gonna keep this streak going, I think.
Yeah, sorry, I had to make the OBS the main window to use the push to talk. But you are going to go on and face Buzz Thunder in the gold medal match. So how are you feeling about that, representing Special K?
Well, I'm just glad to be doing my country proud. I think everyone from my country is really counting on me to bring home a gold medal for us here, and I'm hoping the other guys can bring some gold medals home too. Finals is going to be tough. Buzz Thunder is a good opponent. I think win or lose, everyone will be happy as long as we both get Buzz Thundered in the Jackamus room at some point.
Yeah, that would be meta the meta. I mean, that no different than when you were in you and Eon did the high five coming out of the Eon room and going out of the Jackamus room. That was special. That was a magical moment of the tournament so far. Nirm is on Thunderbird now, so he made short work of this pretty wide open, but I guess if you were going right until you couldn't go right anymore, it brought you right to the path here. But yeah, so you versus Buzz, and good luck to you in that race.
Well, thank you very much there. I'm really gonna have to put in some reps, but you know, I think I'm up to the challenge. I'm just hoping that I have a good game, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, certainly if you can sustain keeping yourself alive, you probably have the fastest strategy of most players in who play this game. And from day one, it's just take the levels as you get them, and get her done, right?
Yeah, get her done. That's what she's all about, don't you know?
Zed, yes. But yeah, so thanks a lot for doing this. You got any insight on your next race? Like, what are you planning to do? I mean, you're probably not going to practice, but like, what would you want to do better compared to this run?
Well, in this run, I mean, I didn't find the glove as my first item, so I'd like to do that better next time around. I guess in a more realistic and less asinine answer, there are a couple of spots where, like, I'm just kind of thinking, I don't know what I was thinking there. It's like, I'm just bleeding time. I gotta, you know, really knuckle down and just go, go, go.
Yeah, when you guys got to the eastern continent there, the maze, the raft tile was like kind of in the south central area of the map, and there was a lot of area to the west there, and I believe you explored the west. Nirm went east, and he arrived at Thunder pretty quickly because of that. Look at this standoff here that's happening between Nirm and Dark Link. Dark Link just wants none of Nirm. He's going to stand there for an hour and make him wait. That's got to be annoying. But yeah, so he got Thunder and you got a couple things, but you went left and you got the magic key before he arrived on that as well. So it's one of those things, I guess you just chalk it up to going to the wrong direction. But yeah, he had all the spell items, so it was just a matter of time before you got Thunder anyway.
Yeah, once you have all of them, it's just a matter of finding the right town for the last spell that you need, if you need any at that point. And yeah, as far as the exploration goes, you just want to try to see as much of the map as quickly as you can. What you find from there is, you know, pretty luck. The order you find stuff in is going to be somewhat luck based too. You just gotta, take what you get and kind of find a way to make it work from there.
Yeah, and you're gonna once again employ those strategies. So there's a second death from Nirm on Darklink, but he's trying to fight him legit, like. So those aren't real deaths, but yeah. So gold medal match. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys can collaborate. Did you guys schedule it yet?
No, haven't scheduled it yet. There, I mean, I'm only just winning this race right now. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So
that's right.
We'll figure that out in the next little while, and we'll book a time and we'll get her done for you.
All right, cool. So that's Jackamus Wedge representing Special K. Good luck to you, man.
Thanks, Larry. Have a great night.
You too. Hey, Edge, did you want to ask him anything? I'm sorry about that.
No, I think you covered just about everything. Thanks again for coming out, Jack. GG.
Well, geez, Edge, thanks for, talking to me and stuff.
But there,
I kid.
there is Darklink down for Nirm. So Nirm's going to finish up here with a time of 1 hour and 25 minutes. So good game to Nirm. He's going to be moving on to the bronze medal match. He's going to be playing Rose City Saint, and that's going to be coming up someday. It's shortly. He's scheduled and all that stuff. But so what do you think of this race, Edge?
I thought it was pretty good. Again, that glove and the hammer really were the items that dictated how everything else went. So interesting to see. Definitely gonna have to tune in for a lot more of these.
Yeah, that was a crazy combination, and all said and done, they still both completed this in under 90 minutes. So like when you see the best of the best play this game, it's just sad when you play it and you're like, man, I understand everything about this game, but how come I can't even get close to these times? Like they can do it fast and on the fly, and it's so cool. It's definitely one of the best randomizers out there. But yeah, so that's it. Jack is moving on. Gold medal match against Buzz Thunder. Nirm in the bronze medal match against Rose City Saint. Make sure you look for those. And Edge, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, anytime. It was a lot of fun.
And thanks everyone for hanging out. And we'll see you at the races for the SHI Tournament Olympics next time.